Fabrizio Romano shares Ruben Amorim sack update after Ratcliffe talks. Manchester United boss Ruben Amorim will be looking cautiously over his shoulder at the sack after some poor results in the Premier League and the League Cup. And Fabrizio Romano has now revealed that owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has flown into Carrington to hold talks with the Portuguese gaffer. The Red Devils are sat on 4 points from 4 league games, only beating Burnley in the final minute at home and drawing away at Fulham, before losses to Arsenal and Manchester City. As well as a shock loss to Grimsby Town in the Cup, it's not been the best of starts for Amorim, and that has led Romano to claim that Ratcliffe has flown in for talks with the Portuguese boss. Romano, Sir Jim Ratcliffe flies in for Amorim talks. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Romano stated that there have been talks held with more than just Amorim at the club's training ground, though the former sporting boss has come under particular importance for their slow start. He said, "What Sir Jim Ratcliffe did today in the last few hours was fly into Carrington. Sir Jim Ratcliffe arrived and had several meetings. Manchester United made it very clear that those meetings were planned. All of those meetings were with people in management, with people from staff, and all those kinds of meetings were already planned, even before the Manchester Derby loss of 3-0 by Manchester City. But in those meetings, there was also a conversation, a direct face-to-face conversation, with Ruben Amorim. Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to be involved, as I mentioned. Sir Jim Ratcliffe wants to understand what's going on after spending important money in the summer, after backing the manager, and to understand why Manchester United are not performing. What I can guarantee is that this week, Manchester United have not advanced with any manager available to start conversations or to go and get an agreement ready for the future. United have not prepared anything. They keep trusting Ruben Amorim. But different results are needed. Amorim joined in November last year after a poor start under Erik ten Hag, but he has so far struggled to make the desired impact. Despite arriving with a reputation as one of Europe's brightest young coaches, he was unable to turn United's fortunes around in the second half of the campaign. He lost more than half of his top-flight games in charge, finishing the season with a disappointing record of just 7 wins and 6 draws from 27 Premier League matches. That underwhelming return left many questioning whether he had the tactical authority and adaptability to succeed in the English game. The new season was seen as a fresh start for Amorim, but 2 losses in the first 4 games have raised doubts. Performances have failed to convince fans, and while the club hierarchy remain patient, upcoming results will be crucial. Without quick improvement, pressure on his position will only grow. Ruben Amorim's transfer reality after Marcus Rashford masterclass. What have I done? Marcus Rashford marked his return to England with a double for Barcelona in the Champions League, and former Manchester United star Nicky, but believes Ruben Amorim may now regret letting him go. Former Manchester United midfielder Nicky, but reckons Ruben Amorim might be having second thoughts about letting Marcus Rashford depart in the summer, considering his side's current struggles. The England star produced a brilliant display for Barcelona in Thursday's 2-1 triumph over Newcastle United in the Champions League. He bagged a brace within 9 minutes during the second half, marking his first goals for the Catalan club. Rashford initially opened the scoring just shy of the hour mark, nodding home from Jules Koundé's delivery. He then extended the advantage with a spectacular right-footed effort from distance, giving goalkeeper Nick Pope no chance. Anthony Gordon managed the sole strike for the home side during injury time. Nevertheless, it proved the ideal homecoming for Rashford, who secured a loan switch to Barcelona earlier in the summer. The 27-year-old found himself axed from Amorim's squad after facing harsh words from the Portuguese boss. Prior to his Camp Nou switch, Rashford hadn't appeared for the Red Devils since December 2024 and subsequently joined Aston Villa on a temporary deal. Speaking on BBC's Champions League highlights program, but suspects Amorim could be second-guessing his choice to allow Rashford's departure, whilst United battle for reliable firepower during their poorest campaign start in 33 years. I think I would be thinking, what have I done? I've let that go. And Man United are obviously struggling, he said. But players need to move on if it's not going well, because you need to be loved, and Marcus definitely needs an arm round and needs to be loved, and when he is, he shows what he can do tonight. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Harvey Elliott marks big Aston Villa milestone as Liverpool players show support. Aston Villa signed Harvey Elliott on loan from Liverpool during transfer deadline day as part of a deal that includes an obligation to buy for £35 million next summer. Harvey Elliott took just 2 matches to score his first goal since leaving Liverpool. The midfielder made a transfer deadline day loan move to Aston Villa, who are obligated to sign the player permanently for £35 million in the next summer transfer window. Elliott returned from the international break to debut for the Premier League club when they played Everton last weekend. A second appearance swiftly followed Tuesday evening as Villa took on Brentford in the third round of the Carabao Cup. The 22-year-old talent got on the scoresheet with a smartly taken strike just before halftime. John McGinn dispossessed an opposition defender, enabling his new colleague to latch onto the loose ball and slot a finish beneath Brentford goalkeeper Hakan Valdimarsson. Unfortunately for Elliott, his new side could not maintain their advantage and eventually lost a penalty shootout after Aaron Hickey equalized during the 90 minutes. Matty Cash and McGinn missed for Villa, with Elliott not one of their 5 takers. To mark his individual milestone, he posted on Instagram, "Glad to get off the mark last night, but unfortunate to go out. Go again Sunday, prayer emoji." Among his former Reds teammates, Tyler Morton offered the most encouragement. The midfielder, who also departed Anfield this summer for Lyon, responded, "What a guy." Among those who liked the social media post were current Liverpool players Cody Gakpo, Curtis Jones, Hugo Ekitike, Jeremy Frimpong, Kyle Gordon, Rio Ngamaha, Ryan Gravenberch, Trey Nyoni, Virgil van Dijk, Vyacheslav Jaros, and Wataru Endo. Several former Reds who have moved on in recent years also liked the post, including Queven Kelleher, Luis Diaz, Naby Keita, and Trent Alexander-Arnold. For Villa, Elliott's arrival seems to be perfectly timed. Despite their cup exit, it marked their first goal in competitive action for the 2025-26 season. Liverpool will continue to keep a close eye on the Englishman's progress in the coming seasons, as there remains the potential for the club to benefit even more from his career trajectory. As part of the deal struck on deadline day, the Reds were careful to negotiate both a sell-on clause and a buyback clause, safeguarding their long-term interests. This means that Liverpool are well-positioned regardless of how the player's future unfolds. Should he continue to develop and eventually attract interest from other clubs, Liverpool would stand to gain financially from any future transfer fee through the sell-on clause. On the other hand, if his growth and performances reach the level that convinces the Reds' hierarchy, he could play a role in their own squad again. They have the option of triggering the buyback clause to bring him back to Anfield. In either scenario, the agreement reflects Liverpool's belief in the player's potential and ensures that they remain connected to his career path. It also demonstrates the club's long-term planning strategy, as they balance the immediate benefits of moving him on with the possibility of reaping future rewards, both on the pitch and financially. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Liverpool eye Barcelona defender as Konate replacement. Liverpool eye Barcelona defender as Konate replacement. Liverpool's summer plans are already in motion, and the focus appears to be firmly on Barcelona's Ronald Araujo. According to Fishages, the Uruguayan defender has emerged as a top candidate to replace Ibrahima Konate, who is expected to leave Anfield at the end of the season for a move to Real Madrid. This could set up one of the most intriguing transfer sagas of next summer. Liverpool's step-up defensive search. With Ronald Araujo's departure looking increasingly likely, Liverpool must identify a center-back capable of stepping straight into the first team. Araujo's situation at Barcelona has created a potential opportunity. Once a cornerstone of Barca's backline, he has struggled to cement a regular place this season. The emergence of Pau Cubarsí and the resurgence of Eric Garcia have left Araujo on the fringes, a reality reflected in his declining market value. Yet, as Fishages notes, he remains highly rated across Europe, and Barcelona are not prepared to let him go cheaply. Any club interested will need to pay at least €50 million, their report states. Barcelona's calculated stance. Barcelona face their own dilemma. They need to raise funds to balance their books, and Araujo's sale could provide a significant injection of cash. The Catalan club know there is Premier League interest, and Liverpool are reportedly the side furthest along in their assessment of his contract situation and market valuation. Barcelona are said to be open to negotiations if the right bid arrives. The club could accept his departure if an adequate offer strengthens their finances, writes Fischages. That admission is key for Liverpool, who are known to plan their recruitment carefully and prefer to move early for top targets. Perfect fit for Slot's system. From Liverpool's perspective, Araujo ticks plenty of boxes. His physicality, recovery pace, and ability to handle high-pressure situations make him a natural fit for the Premier League. As Fischages points out, his international experience and competitive character are highly valued. With the Reds set to usher in a new era next season, the need for defensive stability is paramount, and this pursuit signals Liverpool's intent to maintain their competitive edge. Transfer battle could heat up. Liverpool are unlikely to be alone in their pursuit. Other Premier League clubs have shown interest, though Liverpool's proactive analysis of Araujo's situation gives them a head start. Barcelona will wait for the market to develop, knowing they hold a valuable asset. For now, this story is set to run and run. If Liverpool table a formal bid, it could trigger one of the most expensive defensive moves of the summer and reshape both clubs' plans for the future. Vinicius Jr. warned to get used to bench role, as Xabi Alonso says Brazilian can't feel offended by Rodrigo starting in Champions League win against Marseille. Vinicius Jr. was named on the bench for Real Madrid's Champions League opener against Marseille on Tuesday, with Rodrigo starting in his place on the left wing. After the game, head coach Xabi Alonso made it clear that the squad must get used to his rotational policy and sit out a game every now and then, but reassured that Vinicius remains just as important to the cause. Alonso surprises with his starting lineup. Real Madrid began their continental campaign off to a winning start on Tuesday, as the hosts won the game 2-1 against Marseille, thanks to a Kylian Mbappé penalty brace. While winning their first Champions League game of the season was not much of a surprise, it was Alonso's starting 11 that raised eyebrows. Rodrigo, who was heavily linked with an exit all summer, started in place of his Brazilian co-star in a three-man attack, with the latter coming off as a second-half substitute. Vini Jr. receives clear warning from the boss. Vinicius has been one of the best, if not the best, players in the Champions League in the last 4 seasons. Last season, he finished as Madrid's top scorer in the tournament as they lost to Arsenal in the quarterfinals. However, when asked how Vini reacted to being named on the bench, Alonso fired a clear warning, meant not just for the Brazilian, but the entire squad. We're in a demanding stretch. We need everyone. There will be moments for everyone. The important thing is that everyone feels prepared and feels important, because they are and will be throughout the season, said Alonso. If there are private conversations with Vini, they stay at Valdebebas. No one is going to play every game. No one can feel offended for not playing a game. Vini has come on well. The substitutions had a good impact on the game. Rotation is the name of the game. It's not the first time Vinicius has been left out of the starting 11 this season. He was a surprise exclusion for the game against newly promoted Real Oviedo last month, with Alonso asserting that the 25-year-old can have a big impact off the bench. Madrid have played 5 games, and Vini has appeared in each of those 5 fixtures, but has not managed to play the full 90 minutes even once. He has, however, scored 2 goals in the league and averages a direct goal contribution every 82 minutes. Can Madrid make it 6 wins out of 6 this weekend? Having maintained a perfect record so far, Alonso's troops face La Liga's surprise package Espanyol, who sit third after 3 wins and a draw. Alonso must navigate a defensive crisis, with Trent Alexander-Arnold sidelined by a hamstring injury and Dean Huijsen suspended following a red card against Real Sociedad. Thanks for watching. Stay for the next. Don't forget to like and subscribe.